you that feeling of, okay, this is what I know I can be in this league?
Yeah, I think it's a process more than anything. It felt good to shoot the ball well. Like I feel like even my misses were like right there. I thought multiple were still going in, and it was nice to have a night like that. And obviously overall we shot the ball well, 16 made threes, but it's kind of what we had to do. I think more than half of our shots came from the 3-point line. So I thought we settled a little bit. Probably could have got our feet in the paint more, but yeah, it was nice. I mean, I still feel like there's so many ways that I can continue to be better, and that probably goes for our whole team. We still feel like there are so many ways for us to improve and execute, especially down the stretch, and not make it as close.
Go second row here on the left.
Caitlin, kind of wanted to pick up on what you were asked before the game about this whirlwind schedule, 11 games in 20 days, I think it was. Um, obviously that's physically taxing after a college season, but in some ways has that kind of made there no kind of gaps to kind of soak in what people are saying about you or narratives around your game?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is like there's not time to sulk from a loss. Like it's just one after the next, but at the same time, like all of us would say like that's just not ideal. It's not an ideal way to play basketball. I think you could see the exhaustion on our faces, more mentally than probably physically. Obviously, physically we're exhausted, but I think mentally it's hard to stay sharp in those moments when you're going game to game, and mental preparation is probably the most important thing. So proud of our group, certainly battled, and now we feel like we're kind of through that hump, and we had a couple days of practice and, time to kind of improve in ways that we thought we needed to improve. And, I thought we came out here, and the Mystics are a great team. It feels like they're in so many close games all throughout the season. So another close one tonight, and, we found a way to battle and get it done.
Front row, Chloe on the right.
Yeah, for either of you, there was that 7 minute stretch in the second quarter where you didn't have a field goal. Just what was the halftime message? How did you kind of bounce back from that in the second half?
The idea is to be as fluid as we can. Obviously we were defending them well, but we gotta make them pay by scoring. And the ball didn't go in. So for us, it was about making sure that we obviously, execute what we needed to. But that third quarter is always a big one for us. Third quarters are like can be our Achilles heel. So the transition for us from halftime to third quarter was to kind of stay focused on the first 5 minutes, and then being able to execute and defend at the same time.
For either of you, coming off these last few days where you finally had a chance to practice some to get to take a breath, was there anything that you'd worked on specifically over the last couple of days that you felt was able to shine through tonight?
Uh, I mean, I think we honestly just ran through a ton of our plays. Like I
Yeah,
feel
I'm
like
about to
we've
say we just
gone
ran a
from
lot.
like we've only been able to put stuff in through in walkthroughs and shoot arounds, and like we haven't had time to like actually work on it versus live competition versus our practice boys. And we worked a lot on our defense too. We worked a lot versus the blitz, because we've just been getting blitzed so much on ball screens this year. So it was good to get in the gym and be able to work on that with our four and five player and myself and Edub and Wally, whoever's taking care of the ball, just to get a little bit more comfortable and know our exact reads out of those. So I would say all those things, but it wasn't anything like complex. It was just like a simple practice of like getting to actually play live and work on, set plays and our defense and things like that.
Go first row on the right to Matt.
Hi, Caitlin. In the middle of your 7 threes, did you ever kind of pause and kind of consciously realize, like, whoa, Katie Lou's sister is guarding me on most of the possessions in this game?
No, I did not think that. I feel like as a competitor, like you don't even know who's guarding you half the time. I think and I know Richard just guarded me some there in the third, maybe at the beginning of the fourth. So I think just, attack no matter who it is. Like you can't get too frazzled about, if it's somebody really great guarding you or no matter who's across from you, you just want to dominate and have that mindset. And I don't even know if her and Katie Lou talked to each other during the whole game. So
We got two on the second row on the right. Start the first one on the aisle.
Caitlin, when you had that stretch in the second half where you're hitting 1 3 after another, what's that like? What goes through your mind? Or like it's falling and it's just all working.
Well, I started off missing my first two, so it was kind of annoying because both of them were pretty open. But I think just keep shooting. That's what shooters do. And honestly, I thought my teammates set really good screens. And I think that just shows like when you set and use screens, like no matter what you're running, even if the other team knows it, like it can still be really effective. Katie Lou set a couple really great screens, and got me open. So I was just able to create off of those. And, as a shooter, once you see, one and two go in, the basket just looks bigger and bigger. So that's kind of what I was feeling.
Got second row far right.
Hi, Caitlin. Reflecting back on you envisioning what it would be like in the WNBA, what surprised you the most in terms of how things have gone for you so far this season? Any big surprises that stand out in your mind? Something maybe you didn't expect?
I wouldn't say anything surprising. I mean, the physicality is, I mean, I knew what I was getting into. Maybe some people didn't really know what was the circumstances of the WNBA, but me personally, I know, this is one of the best leagues in the world. The players are really, really good. So I wouldn't say anything surprising. Like I've been a big fan of this league all my life. Like, you're starting a new chapter and a new part of your career, becoming a professional athlete. Not everything's going to click overnight. That's not what this is, but keep working and keep grinding and, it'll come over time.
Got back row on the left here, guys.
Caitlin, this morning you mentioned you take a second, being that this is your first season, to walk around, soak up the gym, soak up all of these experiences. And you said every city and every gym is unique in its own sense. What was unique about this experience tonight?
I mean, the crowds never get old. I think, they're great. I think at times they might have been cheering for us. I'm not really sure. I could have sworn they were booing when calls didn't go our way, but maybe I was just being a little delusional. I'm not sure. But I mean, it's just really fun. It's fun to see people in fever gear. It's fun to see people screaming about women's basketball. That's not anything you take for granted. And I'm just lucky I get to play this game because there's a lot of people that would kill to be a part of this league. It's the hardest league to be a part of. A lot of people that would kill to be on this team and get to play in front of fans like this. So I'm just grateful, honestly.
Got the last one, third row on the left.
For Kelsey.
Yeah, I'd love this to be for Kelsey, for both of you. I was just looking it up, and I think this is right. I'll have to double check, but there were more than 20,000 people here tonight, and I think that's the most people who've watched a Fever game this season. And, Kelsey, especially, like, having played for the Fever last season, it's not your rookie year. Like, does that feel different to you, playing in front of 17,000, 18,000, 20,000 here tonight? I mean, that's more than the Wizards typically get here, So, like, how does that feel to you?
I think I'm a part of history, so shit, I'll take it. Obviously it's a good thing for women's basketball. I'm playing alongside this kid, so it makes everything, a little bit more dramatic, and like the people are coming out to see this person. So we just do what we can. We embrace it. I'm pretty sure our organization can feed off of it, our, state of Indiana. So I think for us, we're going to utilize this energy for as much as we can possibly use it, and be happy that the women's basketball and the game, where it's going, is pretty positive. So.
All right. Thank you both. We'll bring Coach in next.
You guys finally got to practice this week. Where do you think that showed up most on the court tonight?
What I remember the most is I thought our defense in the first quarter was really good, and we really fell off in the second. So I really can't wait to get back and look at that and see kind of where we dropped the ball. I know we let a lot of dribble penetration happen that second quarter. So we got to do a better job of keeping our man in front.
Go second row on the left, Coach.
I'm sure, with Caitlin's adjustment to the speed and length just make for different looks, especially on threes. It seemed like in the third quarter when she was getting going, she was coming off some screens and things like that. But is it a matter of scheming her open, or is it a matter of waiting for her to feel it, or is it some combination of both?
I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, she did start feeling it. When she gets hot, she can be really dangerous. But we have to do a better job. We need to get her off some screens so she doesn't have to work so hard. I mean, her in a drag in the middle of the floor early in the shot clock, it opens up everything for everyone else, but the ball gets out of her hands. And then we've got to be able to spit it out or attack the rim right there. But I think she started feeling it late, which is, always a good thing for us.
Christie, go first row right in front of you.
Yeah, you mentioned the second quarter defense, and I also believe you didn't have a field goal for the final 7 minutes of that quarter. Just what broke down there, and how did you adjust at halftime?
Yeah, I think we only had 14 in that quarter. We were letting people get by us, and then we kind of let our defense dictate how we were playing offensively. We weren't getting those stops like we were getting in the first quarter. And then we were getting out and running. We weren't getting those stops in the second, and then we just stopped executing. So we've got to be able to put those two together.
Stay first row on the right to Matt.
Christie, obviously you want to win every game. The way that this one was shaping up, Washington, second night of a back-to-back. You guys have a 4-day rest. They haven't won a game yet. From a coaching perspective, did this turn to we want to win this really badly to we must win this game?
No, we want to win every game, man. Like we show up to win every single game, period. They give it credit to Washington. They hit some big shots. I mean, we hit, I think we have a record with threes, but I mean, they hit some big shots late. And then we've got to be able to hit our free throws at the end of the game to seal the deal.
Then we got one on Zoom, Brad Lake. Brad, you want to go ahead?
Yes. Hi, Coach. How are you? What does a win like this mean to the team as you head in to your match Monday with the Sun?
Yeah, I mean, a win anytime just gives you a breath of fresh air, get you some more wind in your sails. They were, really excited in the locker room. We didn't talk much basketball after. We'll do that when we get back. And then we'll focus on Connecticut. But just felt good to get this win going on to Connecticut.
Got last one on Zoom, Daniel Artest.
Hey, Coach Sides, Daniel Artest from the 9450. Congratulations on your win. After such a hectic schedule with these 11 games in the last 20 days, how did you and the team utilize these few days off to recover, recharge? Like, what strategies did you find most effective in making the most of this win tonight?
Yeah, it was more about getting them the rest they needed. They were pretty beat up, so it was about getting rehab, recovery, giving them time off their feet, time away from each other just to breathe. I mean, 11 and 20 was, that was really tough on them and mentally as well. So that just getting that little mental break. But then when they came back, just the way they came back and we were practicing those couple of days, I mean, they really came back ready to go. We were able to improve, got to figure out how to put it all together